Hey, Shalom, Mark into the Karma Kapash from GMS London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem Chachwadash. Want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of GMS, and Shalom at there to the hopeful elect, preaching his truth in all sincerity. Back again with another video. Here in the UK, we've had recently calls for national service to be brought back. In fact, the Tories, okay, the Conservative Party, is using it as part of their campaign, which sounds kind of crazy to me, because who the fuck wants to go and do the service? But it's showing you, man, that they know and they understand. The world is edging closer to World War III. Okay, with the threat of Russia and the chaos that's going on down there in the Middle East. Okay, they know times are shifting, and they gotta prepare themselves, and so it's like, and we're giving that as impossible. We've been telling you, man, they're gonna bring back conscription into the service, man. Because they're gonna need to, all right? Because this war is gonna be fought over over the whole earth, right? But mainly in the in the Middle East, right? And they're gonna need a whole amount of bodies to throw at it, right? Because simply most of them are just gonna be fodder, but they're gonna need a lot of people to fight this war, obviously, more than they currently have. And so they're introducing the idea of mandatory service, right? And although, as you'll see here, or I'm not going to play it, but as you see here in the image, right? They're talking about it, and he's trying to allay the fears of those people who don't really want to go serve in the military. That no one's going to be forced to serve in the military, to participate in combat roles and all that kind of stuff, right? That no one's going to go to prison, because that's what you used to do, right? If you service, you go jail for however amount of time. Was it during the Vietnam War? Muhammad Ali, he went to jail. Okay, he didn't want to serve, and so he was in jail for however long he was in jail for. That's what they would do, right? As part of punishment for turning down the service of your country. Yeah, you are not the true patriot. So but they're bringing back the idea of having to do mandatory service in some form or manner, right? Because although they say they're not gonna jail nobody, they will give you alternatives, alternatives to military roles, right? Which I think this article is gonna go into. We'll have a look, but yeah, because the time's coming, man. Okay, the time's coming. Okay, with these people out here are gonna be marched off to fight. Okay, you'll be marched off to fight, right? So, without further ado, let's just jump into it, right? It says, refusing mandatory national service won't lead to prison, Home Secretary says after Tory policy launch. Teenagers would have the option of military service or volunteering for a year under the Conservatives' first policy pledge of the election campaign. Right, I don't know why they're running this, because this isn't going to help them. This isn't going to help them stay back in office, right? So nobody would go to jail for refusing to comply with national service under Conservative government, the Home Secretary has said. In the Conservatives' first policy announced of the general election campaign, Rishi Sunak said on Saturday he would introduce a new form of mandatory national service for 18-year-olds if his party wins the vote in July. Who the fuck's going to vote for these guys? They would be given the choice of a full-time military placement for 12 months or a scheme to volunteer for one weekend a month for a year. The announcement came 2 days after Defence Minister Dr. Andrew Morrison told the Commons the government has no plans to reintroduce national service, and doing so would damage morale, recruitment and retention, and would consume professional military naval services. All right, so there's a whole bunch of confusion with them, not what it is that's supposed to be happening. The military option will be selective, but questions have arisen over whether any teenager who refuses to do either option would be punished. So yeah, to reiterate, no one's going to go to jail. he added, nobody will be compelled to do the military element, but said those who do will be paid. Right? Those who choose to volunteer will not be paid. Hold on. He compelled. Okay. Right. So here's an interesting thought. Right. So let's say, because we know the MOTB, is fast approaching, and it's gonna, rear its ugly head, before, everything kind of kicks off like big time, right? Now imagine, you know, your regular pounds, your pound sterlings or whatever, right, is down the drain, ain't worth shit no more. Banks is closed, there's no more cash in the system, right? And they introducing CBDCs, right? Maybe you maybe you won't even be if you don't go, then you don't get your MOTB, you don't get fed. Okay, you don't get to get the provisions. Maybe to force you that way, you know? Okay, it's your choice. It's your choice if you want to do that. but it's not really a choice, you know. So he added, nobody will be compelled to do the military element, right? But if you find yourself without provisions and no means to get it, and the only way you can get it is take the MOTB and go into the forces, what you gonna do? You know, yeah, you take this and go serve, and then your family get fed, or whatever the case may be. All right, just a thought. He added that nobody will be compelled to do the military element, but said those who do will be paid, while those who choose to volunteer will not be paid. Right? Now, this bit just sounds like a whole bunch of BS, to be honest. Right? Mr. Cleverly said the main point of the policy is to make sure people mix with people outside their bubble for community cohesion. What? Okay, whatever. That made no damn sense. He said those who choose the military option will be motivated to join the military. Right, after spending a year with the armed forces. It's such a great place to be. Right? Mr. Sunak released a video on TikTok on Sunday explaining the new policy to young adults. Mr. Kirby said, we want to build a society where people mix with people outside their own communities, mix with people from different backgrounds, different religions, different income levels. The bulk of this is about helping to build a cohesive society where people mix outside their bubble. It just sounds like bullshit. Right? The Conservatives said the National Service Program will cost $2.5 billion a year and will be funded by cash previously used for the UK Shared Prosperity Fund and cracking down on tax avoidance evasion. All right, I saw in another article mentioning if they didn't want to serve and do the voluntary work in the military or whatever, right? Then maybe they can work for charities or the fire department, fire brigades, NHS, and that kind of stuff. As a alternative. That's what they're saying right now. Who knows, if they're going to bring this into play or whatever the case may be, but this is what they're talking about right now. But one thing's for sure, there is going to be a draft. There has to be, right? Because it's just, this war is going to be tremendous. Oops. Revelations 11 verse 14 says the second woe is past, right? There's 3 woes, right? The first woe is the First World War. The second woe is the Second World War, right? And the third is coming, right? It said, behold, the third woe cometh quickly, a time of great distress upon the earth, right? And this one's going to far exceed the previous 2, right? So that is coming, and they know that. They understand that. Okay, they've been talking about how their military is not adequate. If it were to be called upon, to defend itself against Russia and so on, they know that they need to do something. And they talk about spending more money and what kind of business and mandatory service and all this type of stuff. But you'll be, regardless of what happens, what policies are put in place. There's going to be a draft at some point, right? The Lord, the Lord wants you, right? He wants you to go fight, right? Because the Lord's calling up all the men that can fight to join in this war, man. So the Lord could destroy you, to bring judgment upon you, right? This is the Lord's doing, right? So you will be called, right? This is from Joel chapter 3 verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, okay, these nations, right? Prepare war, prepare for this third woe. All right, everybody seems to be preparing for this for some sort of conflict, right? Everybody's spending money into the militaries and missile defenses and all these kinds of things, weapons and all sorts, right? Nukes, you name it, right? They're all spending more and more money on these things, right? To prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, right? And that's what the Lord's doing. He's gathering them together, right? Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong, right? So even these weaker nations, they're on it, right? They're being raised up, okay? The Lord's having them work together to strengthen themselves, using guys like Russia and China to make them stronger, right? It says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. Okay, and that's that region. Well, it's a region down there in the Middle East, right? That is where the large bulk of the fighting is going to take place, right? Being instigated by the small hats down there. Okay, as is already happening, right? But right now, those small hats are in control. What's going on. They're not on the back foot, and I think they're out there causing problems for people in the Middle East. But that's all going to turn on its head, and Israel's going to be truly at threat. Not this pseudo threat that they claiming that Israel's existence is a threat. Blah 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 blah. From people with stones and rockets. That whole stuff. Or they got nukes, all that stuff, right? No, they're going to be truly under threat when Russia rolls in, with Iran and certain guys with proper weaponry. They're going to be truly at threat then, right? And so they're going to, everyone's going to, the world is going to throw their resources at that to defend Israel, from the side of the West, right? They're going to throw all their resources at it to defend Israel from Russia, Iran, China, and so on and so forth, right? And so they're going to send their troops down there, right? And so this is where the Lord is going to gather them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat to bring judgment upon them all, right? And there's going to be a lot of death, right? So anybody signing up or being signed up or being forced to join the military, okay, just know, okay, the Lord is marching you to your death. These men are marching you to your death, and the Most High called you, right? But called you for a very different purpose, right? For a very different reason. Okay, not to teach the gospel or to believe. No, you're there to be destroyed, right? In this war, right? There's a lot of people on the planet right now, man. Right? The resources that they have at their disposal, to call upon is vast. All right, to make people join the military, there's a lot of people on the planet, right? So there's gonna be a lot of people being called up and being sent down. It's gonna be like a great calling, right, of the Lord, right? It says, let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come, get you down, for the press is full, the fats overflow, and for their wickedness is great. Multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. Right? Multitudes upon multitudes are going to be down there, man. So that's what's occurring. Right? Revelation 16:16 says he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. Okay, and that's that battle of Armageddon. Okay, that fabled and feared day. All right. It's from Revelation chapter 19, verse 17. And I saw an angel stand in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great God, that ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and of them that sit on them, and the flesh of all men, both free and bond, both small and great. And I saw, well, that's it. There's gonna be so much death. And there's gonna be a great feast for the fowls of the air to feast upon, man. Right? And I said, you're just logs on the fire that the Lord is throwing on the fire, man. You know, everyone's being brought into this war is just there to be put on the fire. You know, to to become a feast for these birds, man, these animals, right? It's from 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 8. And this is when the Lord returns, right? Okay, these armies that are in the world that are left after America's destruction, okay, they're going to be sent to confront the Lord, to defend humanity, right? To defend the peoples of earth and the way of living, because they don't want this outside threat, destroying them and changing everything, right? So they're going to send you out. For those of you that survive long enough to get this far, right? They're going to send you out in the fight of planes and helicopters and, all that shit, right? To confront the Lord, man, and you're going to get obliterated in front of everybody, right? It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet there was fight. Okay? The spirit of fear is going to be on these people, man. Okay, well before this point, but the spirit of fear is going to be on these people, right? But the Lord is going to have them, come against the Lord anyway. The Lord's going to harden their hearts, okay, and put them into Yahushai's hand, right, to destroy them, right? So like I said, anybody that's wanting to sign up or ends up being signed up or thinks it's a good idea and you want to protect your country, just know that you're fighting on the wrong team, innit? Okay? These nations fighting for themselves, man, you're fighting for the wrong team. Okay? You think the threat is these other nations. You think it's Russia or China or Iran or something like that. That's who you think the enemy is. No, your enemy is the Lord, right? Which really means that you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy in this, man. I mean, you're going to lose. Right? So anybody that's ends up joining into these militaries, right, just know you're going to get fucked up, man. Okay? Because the Most High wants to fuck you up. Okay? And that's why you're going to be conscripted, because the Lord wants you. He wants you. He wants you, right, to come on down and get your ass whooped. It's Jeremiah 51 verse 30. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. They might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. And once they see everything, man, they're gonna give up after they witness everything, man. They failed to defend America, right? They've lost a whole bunch of whole bunch of people in the Middle East. They failed to protect America. America's on fire now. It's a lake of fire now. Everyone's gone. And then all the everybody that's left, man, they faced the Lord and just got turned to smoke, turned to ashes. Well, these people are just gonna give up, man. After all that they witnessed and seen, it's gonna be too much. But yeah, we're coming to that time soon, man. We're gonna see these things, man. I'm just going to close out with this. Daniel 12:1 said, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince was standing for the people of thy children, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, right? Because it's not only going to be just, the World War going on. There's going to be a whole bunch of things going on, and this is going to be like the craziest time period that has ever existed on the planet. So much crazy shit going on, man. Things just falling apart, chaos, man. You know, and the World War is just a part of that. You know, but obviously Esau's looking to use all these situations as a catalyst, as a stepping stone for him to achieve his new world order. Yeah, not knowing that, you know, it's not going to come to fruition. You know? And that's the funny thing about it, man. Esau's trying so hard and working on so much plans, and yet it's all going to end miserably for him. Right? But this place is just going to descend to chaos, man. It's going to send, you know, into darkness. You know? And like it says, you know, a time like no other. Okay? And that's why you're going to need people being conscripted into the army, man, because it's going to be fucked up. All right? So regardless of what they're saying right now, whether they're going to do it, whether they're not going to do it, whether they're not going to go to prison, whether they're going to go to prison, whatever the case may be, man, we'll see in that time what's going to happen, man, because they're going to need to. You know, the women as well, man, you're going to have to strap up them boots. Yeah? You have to strap up them boots, man. Declare yourselves men. You know, declare yourselves men. Right? And go fight the enemy. Okay, which is really, you're just fighting yourselves, man. You're the enemy as a overall. You're just fighting one another. You know, Satan be, you know, divided against himself. That's all it is. You know, people don't know what the fuck's going on. You know. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there. Logan, this has been edifying. And I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video. So next time I say shalom.